Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of From Dust Before It Settled, our IRONSWORN mini campaign here on Twitch. Who knows? Who knows anything anymore? I don't. I don't think knowing is a thing that we're allowed to do these days. Um, However, what we are allowed to do is check in and say hello and talk to each other and chat. Summer, besides
Hi,
being
hello.
literally a million degrees, like on the
Yeah,
surface of the sun, in
the
the middle of
surface
the
of the
sun,
sun.
maybe? Um,
Yes,
how are you?
good. Yeah. My brain is liquid. It's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah.
Jess, was it you who posted those gummy vitamins that were just like mush?
Yes.
That's what my brain looks and feels like. Um,
Understandable. I
um,
know completely what you're going through. I live it every summer.
yeah. So I moved to the Pacific Northwest about 3-ish years ago, 3.5 years ago. And literally constantly people would be like, "Oh, it's always so cold and wet and rainy. Like you're gonna hate it." And I was like, no, that sounds amazing." The first year was exactly as promised. It was rainy and cold and we had like sun, but not too much in the summer. And then the next few years just said, "Fuck you. Just fuck you. It's not how it is anymore." It's gonna be really hot. There's gonna be no clouds. There's gonna be no rain. And you're gonna want to die. And that's how it is right now. It's like 91 degrees. I'm in the hottest room in the house. There's no escape. There's no air conditioning. It's awful. All that aside, I'm doing pretty well. Um,
I mean, the nice thing about your brain being liquid is that actually it's easier for the neurons to transfer data
yeah,
to them.
and
So
no
you actually
filters.
think
Yeah.
faster now.
Oh, I actually think so fast. Like
Yeah.
my brain is like coming out of my mouth.
Ew.
Um, mm,
I
that's
mean, you thought
correct.
that and then said it
Science.
so fast.
I
There
I
was there
I was
wasn't
saying
even
it and
time.
I was saying it and I thought about it after. Actually, that's how
Hmm.
fast my brain connected to my mouth.
Yep.
Time reversed. What? I don't know what's going on. Science. Science. I'm a doctor. Okay.
I
Um yeah,
I love
so
this.
fucking insane right now. But other than that, doing really well. Had a lot of stuff happen in the past like week.
Hmm.
Um, the one that I'm most excited about is we finished Missing Annie Lee. Missing Annie Lee's finale
Yeah.
came out on Friday. It is my like the first podcast that I've been a part of that has released in its entirety. Like the whole thing was done. Not only that, but it was like a super ambitious project where we had like some revolving cast members, we had 2 GMs, um me and Lauren like were really involved in every aspect of it and I edited the whole thing. And so when
Whew.
I had never edited anything, it's not true. I had edited a little bit up to that point, but yeah, it was just kind of um it's insane that it's done and it was thank
Congrats.
you. It was so good. Yeah, really proud of that. And think that it's one of the my favorite projects that I've ever been a part of. And
Fuck
um,
yeah.
yeah, so now I'm taking time off from like
Good.
any projects, any like work projects. But I did two games have started this weekend or this week. Yeah, so I had a first session of an Urban Shadows play test. No. These are both fun things. They're off stream
Right, right, right,
they're
right, right,
low
right, right,
pressure
right. Yeah, yeah,
projects.
yeah, yeah.
Like they're projects and like they're I so um off the table is currently like we're taking a break just to give all of us breaks. Junie's in grad school. We were finishing up Missing Annie Leaf, got a ton of stuff going on. And this past season of Off the Table, I didn't play in any of the games.
Right.
So it's been a minute since I've been like other than this and masks on Saturday mornings,
Hmm.
I wasn't playing in anything at all.
Yeah.
Nor was I running anything. And so basically I was asked to do an Urban Shadows second edition playtest as they just released their final iteration of the quick start and they're going to move to like working on the actual book, right?
Sick.
So yeah, so we had our session 0 last Friday And we had our first session this Friday, this past Friday, yeah. And it went really well. It was really great. So usually for a first session I do prep. I'll do like some prep, but because Missing Annie Lee was the finale week, I literally did no prep at all.
Yep.
And I was just like, carry me, because it's for people who are very familiar with Urban Shadows and like know how it works. We're actually play testing a playbook that I wrote, the Aware, the rewrite.
Yeah.
So we've got two new playbooks, and we've got two that are revised. So we've got the Aware and the Oracle that are revised, and we've got the Imp and the Sworn, which are both new. So I just said, go, 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 and let them do it. And they were amazing. And it was super fun. The other thing is today I get to play in something. I was invited to play in a Sprawl campaign, which is like
Ooh.
going to be super, super fun. I don't know that much about the Sprawl. I had heard about it a lot, actually, like about its existence, not about the game or like what it was about. But I was invited to be in a game, and I literally, because I've been so busy, I was like, what do I need to show up with? And he was like, a character concept. And I said, how about I show up with nothing? Which is what I did for Lamb. So we know that it works out. We know that it turns out great. And so I hadn't even looked at the playbooks. I hadn't done anything. And so while the other two players were going through their characters, I was just like, meh, and I picked a playbook. And then I was like, let me just create the worst person. And it turned out amazingly well. So now I have worst girl number 1, who doesn't care about people at all, is horrible to be around, but loves motorcycles.
I love how you have like a pattern of just like either the sweetest beings alive.
I know.
Or trash.
Absolute trash. And I'm playing with people who haven't played with me as players. Like I have one person who's GM'd for me before, one person I've never met, and one person I've played with. And so because we played a little bit, we did session 0 stuff, and then we just jumped in and started like our first like job. And she was just awful. It was so good. They were like, I could tell that there was like cogs turning in their brains of like, oh, this character is literally awful, but in a fun way as players, not in a horrible way. Don't worry, I promise. I play fun bad characters. Yeah. It's like she's like, I stole something from someone who means a lot to me, and he's mad about it. Why is he mad about it? He should have been taking better care of it. That kind of trash. And then
I have played a character that was literally like that. That was like,
and it's like everybody's mad at you. Everybody, and she's like, "What do you want me to do? Apologize?" And they're like, "Maybe." She's like, "Fine, but it won't be genuine."
No, yeah, I have played that. I have played a character a lot like that before, and it's so much fun to be like, I wonder why everyone doesn't want to hang around with me.
They were
I'm
like,
such a delight.
I know. They were like, we might need to kick you out of the house. Like, she lives in like a community of like bikers. They have like a biker gang community, and they're like, people are really mad about that really shitty thing that you did. She's like, oh, you want me to mope around and be sad that everybody's so mad at me? They're like, we want you to care that everybody's upset that you did this horrible thing. She's like, no, I don't think I will be. Thank you.
Jesus.
Yeah,
oh,
so that should be really fun. I'm excited for her. Yeah, she loves motorcycles and racing, and that's what matters.
Good for her.
I know, I'm so happy.
Living
so
her
happy
best life, I guess.
Yeah, she's living her absolute best life. I was like, yeah, she just doesn't really like people that much. She really loves racing.
I tend to play PBTA games the same way at this point, where like I just show up to session 0 and I see what other people want to play and what playbooks are available, and I go, this one sounds interesting, and then I build a character around it.
Surprisingly, I think morally she's not the worst, because we do have like a sniper in the group, like just a killer. We just have like a straight up killer in the group. So she doesn't care about people, but she's also, well, I'm trying to, my brain's like, you said some really sad, suggested missiling a car to kill a target, and they were like, that's a huge explosion and might might kill other people, and she goes, "That's called collateral."
Oh my god. Oh my
Damn.
god. I hate her.
I'm excited.
Ugh.
So that's gonna be really fun
Good
for me
lord.
to play. Yeah.
Well,
After-
you have fun with that.
I'm going to. Yeah. And then I've just been playing so much GTA
Yep.
because I've just been playing all night, every night for the last 3 nights.
Yep.
So that is and was happening and will continue to happen. And I'll never sleep again.
I believe it.
But it's been so fun. It's been really fun times.
That's good. I'm
It's really
glad
fun
that
times.
you have all of these I mean, all shit posting aside, really varied RP opportunities. Lots of different characters to play. I'm excited to
I'm
see
super excited.
see some more not tonight.
I know, me too. Little bird girl.
Kiana, how have you been? What you been up to?
Yeah, I've been doing okay. Busy. I have I had a long lull where it's like I'm gonna take it slow and
Uh-huh.
easy and take a lot of breaks, and then I
Mm-hmm.
looked at my calendar recently and went, fuck, I just booked myself all the way through probably mid-September. Uh, cool. Whoops. Uh, they're all very exciting projects. I just didn't realize how many projects I was in
Whoops.
until I checked again. I was like, ah, did this to myself. But yeah.
Do you remember in the age-old times of last episode, when I was like, I'm so happy for you that you have some time, because I feel like longtime viewers of this show have heard you say many times that you're very busy. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That said, I know you work on a lot of really cool, exciting stuff, so that's cool and exciting.
Yeah, it's all really cool. I just actually just announced today that I'm going to be one of the writers for Cursed Captains of Cthulhu by
Ooh.
Black Cats Gaming, which is basically it's basically Call of Cthulhu meets 7th Sea as a game. So I'm going to be writing one of their factions, which is going to be really cool.
Neat.
Yeah, so I get to be like, how can I make a European colonial pirating power even worse by making them also cultists?
Yay!
Which is like solidly in my like knowledge and comfort zone of like,
Mhm.
let me just take complicated relationships, throw in some eldritch horror, and also say that colonialism and white people are bad.
Yeah!
Yeah, so I'm very excited about that, and of course I've got a bunch of other stuff that I haven't talked about yet, and working on all the Archon stuff. I got to announce all my cool expansion writers, which is super great. So I got Mur and B Delta, and Austin on it. So they're all fantastic writers, and it now makes it so that Jason, my co-writer, is the only white cis person in this entire writing group.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
yeah, so I have told him that he's a token white cishet dude, and we're very happy about that. Yeah, so they're really
I mean, appropriate to the project, too.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, so I'm very excited to be working with them. I've been getting some really cool pitches from them, uh, including cybernetic vampires. Uh, so that might be a thing that's going to be put into the setting. So
Okay.
yeah, just if you mod yourself out enough,
Sure.
and I mean, vampires are a great metaphor for capitalism. Uh,
Yep.
and cyberpunk is all about critiquing capitalism. So yeah, it's really nice to be able to go, I can make this setting bigger and not have to just go into what's in my brain. I can go, you
Mhm.
you have a good ideas. Do the good ideas.
Let's throw good ideas at each other until we get good idea soup.
Yeah, so that's been, a fun, and it's been really interesting being on like the more project managey side of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I'm normally I'm working for other people, or when I'm self-publishing my own stuff, it's kind of just like a mess in terms of like project management of my own stuff because I don't have anyone that I need to deal with or I need to
There's no
manage.
accountability to
Yeah.
have.
And then I'm working with Jason for a lot of these, and a lot of it's just like, all right, we should probably do this thing, right? Yeah, we should do this thing. And then like 24 hours later, it's like, all right, cool, done. So to actually have to like lay out the deadlines and all that stuff, it's really it's interesting. It's definitely cool, and it's a stimulating different part of my brain to figure out.
Yeah.
Um, Especially now that I'm also working with we're now working with Metal Weave Games for a print run. So that's another thing of like, okay, I have an accountability of like making a print run happen, um, which is a whole nother level of stuff. So yeah, it's been cool. It's
Sweet.
been a cool time. But definitely contributes to my I am going to be busy for a long while.
Yup. Someday you'll take an actual vacation that's longer than like a week.
Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah, someday, someday. I mean, I have so many vacation days from I haven't taken a vacation day from my day job since the beginning of the year.
Oh my god.
Um, so I have a bunch of those banked up, so that'll have to be used at some point this year because
The key point being that an actual vacation means taking time off from day job and then not filling all that time with
yeah.
freelance writing. I mean, I'm
Will
just
that happen though?
someday, who knows?
And if you
Tune in
make
next
it-
week. Tune in 2 weeks to find out.
Yes.
Oh, well, I'm glad to bogart at least 3 hours of your time away from working on stuff to just be a weird ghosty person.
Woo.
Jess, how are you? How are things? What you been up to?
So I guess in a fine example of how you do break yourself away from personal projects for an extended period of time, that would be me.
Mhm.
Sort of. I'm good. I started a new job 2 weeks ago, and I'm finally being paid a salary that is actually commiserate with what a UX designer of my rank and caliber should make.
Yay, getting
Hooray.
paid! Woo!
And I may have found a culture in a company that is like actually what they say they are, and I'm just like confused
What?
and delighted.
You mean they're not just one big family?
I mean, I'm baffled at the fact that they sent out like communication etiquette documentation of like don't slack people after hours, schedule it for working hours.
Oh. Whoa!
Don't like
That's
here are
almost
the
fucked up,
expected
'cause it's-
response times.
That's almost fucked up. Are they okay? Are
It's like
blink
almost
twice?
fucked up though that they would say that.
Just
I don't know.
blink twice if you need help.
I'm just like so confused at I'm like, is this healthy culture? Is this real?
Damn.
That's amazing.
So yeah, that has been my 2 weeks consuming all of my energy just trying to get onboarded and like learn
Yeah.
all of the things as fast as I can, even though they told me like it's okay, you can be chill about it.
Damn, we love to see it.
So yeah, so that's fun. I'm also still actively working on getting my demos written and working with a coach who is like literally a professional in the industry, and I'm gonna have fun getting those done.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I am hoping to have actual demos made in like by the fall, maybe, or in the fall, before the end of the year, for sure.
Sweet.
So maybe then I can be in more things. I made the conscious choice to step back from doing TTRPG things and focusing more on VO things. So even though it kills me not to
Absolutely.
be involved in TTRPG projects a little.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously all 4 of us love TTRPGs, but they're a lot of work, especially on the back end. And it's weird. They're like exponentially more work. It's not like you do 2 shows and it's twice as much work. It's like it's 2.5 times the work.
Well, when you're especially if you're in like the streaming space, I purposely stepped away from that with the exception of doing things for friends.
Yeah.
Hello. Because it is like a really big knock on the schedule if you have too many of them, and just is what it is. And like, still love it. I am still writing stuff, but that's nobody gets to see that until it's closer to be done. So yeah, it's like I'm doing a lot of things that I have nothing to show for and won't for a while, and that's frustrating.
Yeah.
But
ain't that the life?
yeah. Other than that, streaming. We started Legend of Mana last night.
Ooh, how are you liking it?
That game is deeply special to me from way back when.
Yeah.
You know, take your Zelda streams for you. It is that for me. I damn near cried when I heard the new arranged soundtrack that I did not know they were doing in the remaster. Yeah, I knew they were graphically updating like the backgrounds and things. I didn't know they were upgrading the whole soundtrack, and I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Oh my god, amazing! I take it they've done the game justice.
They've remastered basically everything with the exception of the sprites of the characters.
Yeah.
So they're like weirdly pixelated, but I don't like it's fine.
Yeah.
Everything else is so beautiful and everything else is intact, so it's like it's good. Everyone should get that game.
Cause what was it? Was it the Secret of Mana remaster?
They made some choices.
A little disappointing.
Well,
to put it mildly.
We don't have to waste a ton of time on it, but essentially that one they moved from 2D to like 2.5D kind of.
Right.
But they didn't change anything about the game mechanics. So it kind of fucked with like hitboxes and things and made the game artificially harder. They added voice acting, but it was in the middle of the voice actor strikes, so they couldn't exactly hire the usual talent.
Right.
And you could tell.
Yep, you could.
So yeah, it was just an unfortunate nexus of bad.
But Legend of Mana, good, doing well.
Yes,
going great.
It's just it's a visual and audio update. There's no voices or anything to it, which is just as well. Which means if you watch me stream it, I'm doing literally every voice.
Yay! Rip me. We love that. We love it when you do that. Oh my god.
Fun.
I've been so Lauren and I are playing Kingdom Hearts on Tuesdays. On stream show noon Pacific, yada yada. There's a lot of unvoiced dialogue in that game.
How you doing trying to voice match? Isn't that fun?
There are some characters in that. Notably, Donald Duck is a main character.
How's your Donald impression?
Oh, mine is terrible. Lauren's also is terrible, but Lauren's doing all the Donald lines. And it's been like,
why would you make her suffer like that?
I think I was doing Goofy, and so Lauren volunteered as like a joke. And then it's a thing now. It's a bit, and it's gonna go literally forever.
Just,
but yeah, it's a little more
go like DuckTales and do Don Cheadle Donald.
Her Donald is a little more Gilbert Gottfried. It's good. It's so good. I couldn't do Phil, so Phil's like Phil from Hercules.
Yes.
So I ended up in like a "Hey, I'm walking here" kind of space for him.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's been good.
To be fair, that's a tough one to do voice match because there are some really iconic characters in there.
Yeah, and they brought like a lot of the original voice actors on, at least for Kingdom Hearts 1, to voice these
Yeah.
characters, especially the villains,
Mm-hmm.
all have like the original voice actors for them, and like you can't step
Back
to
when
that.
they thought
like,
Kingdom Hearts would be like one game.
right. And the funny thing is, we were talking about this, that over the course of the franchise, the voice actors have like steadily trickled off of the franchise, and they've been
Yup.
replaced by people doing voice matching, with the exception of Hades, who is still performed by Boo James Woods. Terrible
Yeah.
person, great voice actor, terrible person.
Yes.
But like, because he just loves playing Hades so much that he'll like do
Valid.
essentially any project, which makes sense to
Fun
me.
character.
He's such a fun character. He's such, and he gets fun lines, and you get to like deliver them in a fun way. He's just got so much personality that, like, yeah, if I were in his position, I'd be like, I'm sorry, you want me to say what line in Kingdom Hearts 3? Okay, yes, the ice cream is attacking. I will give this the best delivery of my career. Like, I
Yeah.
just do it. I just do it.
I mean, that's the job, though. It's so fun.
Yeah. But also, I think of the Disney villain voice actors, he's probably one of the younger ones. Like when you get to Ursula,
Oh gosh.
and Maleficent, all those people are a bajillion years old at this point.
Right. I'm sure they would like to maybe take a nap.
Retire. Yeah, they actually for Alice in Kingdom Hearts 1, in the Alice in Wonderland world and whatnot, they had the original voice actor for Alice, and she still sounded like
Insanity.
spot on. She's like, I don't know,
Holy shit.
90 or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
Damn.
and she killed it. She absolutely was like spot on, perfect, same voice. Amazing.
That's unusual.
Yeah.
Because your voice does change.
It does. It does. And like Alice has such a particularly like smooth and delicate voice that like being able to still deliver that at
Yeah.
advanced age is impressive as hell.
I sure hope I sound the same and can pull off the same
Right.
shit when I'm like 90.
Also, chat saying that I need to make you voice Mickey, I voice Mickey. Because I actually have a pretty good Mickey voice there, Sora.
Pretty close. It'll
Not
do.
my best Mickey, but like, yeah, I do the Mickey. I do the Mickey and I do the Goofy. So I can say
I don't
Gorsh all the time.
I don't voice match any Disney characters. I haven't listened to any of them enough to even try.
That's fair. They're also like so out there. Like all the Final Fantasy characters in Kingdom Hearts are just like people.
Yeah.
But like all the Disney characters are just like wild performances. I love that.
Wasn't like Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 1 voiced by like one of the guys from NSYNC or some shit?
Oh, yes, actually. Yeah. And he like nails it.
It's so weird.
It's so good. Also, Squall Leonhart from Final Fantasy VIII
8.
is performed by David Boreanaz, which is just the perfect edgy boy. That's Angel from Buffy and Angel.
That was so weird. In that game, they tried to get a lot of like known talent because Squall is played by somebody else in all of his other voiced appearances, and he does great. Just like a career voice actor, not a TV show actor.
Right? Yeah. But like David Boreanaz like has this, I'm not really making an emotion. I'm just sort of talking, and I have a vague sense of like disdain, but not disdain at you, just existence in general. Like he has that quality nailed, which is perfect for Leon.
That's literally Squall's character. So
Yeah. Anyway.
TLDR, voice acting fun.
Voice acting fun. Good shit. I have been up to that and other stream stuff and killing my sleep schedule on summer streams and
Thank you. I accept.
and playing video games. I played a little bit more Hollow Knight recently, and that's been getting juicy. God, I love that game. It's so good. I finally got to the Resting Grounds, which has my favorite music in the whole game. and got to the point where the game's like, here's the rest of the game, which is always my favorite point in a video game that does that. Because you get some games where it's like, okay, you're playing the game all the way through, and some games it's like you're playing a game, and then partway through, suddenly, here is the actual game you're playing, and that moment of revelation is just so fun for me. I love it. And then so on Wednesday, my N64 died. Sort of. So I had an issue a couple weeks ago. I had a power failure where I opened. So I've been playing Majora's Mask. And in that game, saves don't work the way that saving your game in a modern video game works, where you go to a save point and you save, and it writes over your file and creates a whole file that is all of the information about your game. Instead, what Majora's Mask is, it takes your base level info and saves that every time you play the Song of Time and go to the beginning of the 3-day cycle. So it doesn't save like your location or your inventory, because it wipes all that stuff clean when you rewind time. So all that it really has to matter or care about are like essentially your inventory flags, like what masks and items have you collected, and how much money is in your bank, and what was the last dungeon you completed, essentially, like where's the most recent story flag that you've hit, which makes a nice, really compact save file. But obviously you can't expect players to play a full 3-day cycle every time they sit down to play the game, so you have save point statues where you can save mid 3-day cycle, and that creates temporary save data that it holds on to that does have like your actual inventory item numbers and whatnot. And then when you load that save, it says, thank you, this save data is gone. So that either you 3-day cycle and update the main save, or you save at another save point and, get another temp save. So if you load that temp save and then the N64 loses power, you lose all of the save data for that 3-day cycle. So that happened a couple weeks ago, and it was really frustrating, and it sucked. And I realized that like the plug on the N64 was like not fully in the socket, and I was like, well, fuck, that's on me. Then Wednesday, after like a week ago, we recovered from that, and I did like an extra long stream. We went even further. We got super far in. We were like in 12 hours left of the 3rd day. And I was like, okay, I'm calling the stream here. Saved. Loaded up this last week. The plug was all the way plugged in. And I loaded, and I was going through, and it power cycled and cleared everything.
Damn it.
So, yeah, I'm working on getting... I have ordered a new power supply for the N64. I had to like go on eBay and track down an original N64, because like there are a bunch of third-party ones that are like super questionable. So I had to go and like find an original N64 power supply. And hopefully that'll be here on Tuesday. But yeah, so that was the big event of my week, unfortunately. But yeah, hopefully the new power supply will fix it, and it'll be fine. And I'll just sit around off stream and grind out back to where we were, and it'll be like nothing ever happened.
It's still painful.
Yeah, for sure. But you know what isn't painful? Playing this game. What a segue. It's not painful for me. I have a great time.
My 2 health and 2 spirit would beg to differ.
Do we want to play again? Cool. All right. So previously on From Dust Before It Settled, last session we went through only a handful of things, really. Ash spoke to Alvara and asked her some questions, Alvara gave some like very vague responses about like what was going on with this strange entity. Eventually, she ended up telling Ash that the entity has been following her, and kind of left it at that. And Ash very kindly offered to let her go with them. He said he was going to talk to the party first, but he was extending the offer if she wanted that, to try and like solve this problem for her. And then let her sleep on it. In the morning, after they had been attacked, Fauna woke up, saw Verlin's like blood-drenched robes, and was like, "Holy shit, she's dead." Freaked out a bit. Ash sort of calmed her down, and then Fauna just like bolted into the forest in search of supplies. As the party woke up, they discussed sort of the situation with Alvara, and like their concerns about the vagueness around her situation, and like why was she around people if she knew that this might happen, and all that sort of stuff, and not celebrated the return of her bird form. And Alvara came out and agreed to come sit and talk and explain her situation in greater detail with them, sort of agreeing to Ash's offer to let her travel with them, but acknowledging that they deserved to have more detailed information if she was going to take that offer. And at about the same time, Fauna emerged from the forest, wild-eyed with herbs, ready to help patch Verlin up, which she did for the majority of that conversation. She pretty much just mother-henned Verlin for a solid like 30 minutes. As Elvar explained her situation and how she ended up being followed by this horrid otherworldly creature. In essence, some cultists approached her to create a ritual diagram of some kind, or a ritual image, being that she's an artist. And she agreed, not quite understanding what was going on. They were super cagey about it. Obviously, they didn't tell her. Over time, she sort of came to understand, but by that point it was starting to get too late. And what she discovered is that they had been sacrificing their own number, their own ranks, using these diagrams that she was creating to summon forth some kind of horrible eldritch monster, which spoke to her after the last of them was gone. And it offered her many things, specifically purpose and the ability to do things, the opportunity rather to do things that only she could do. And enticed by that, she agreed and completed the ritual, marrying a horrible cosmic monster, and bringing it into the physical world a little bit. Realizing what she had done and horrified by it, she ran and has been running essentially ever since, trying to hide her tracks, hence the Salt and Iron Circle. And she explained to the party and to their general satisfaction that she mostly hides and runs, and people don't get hurt very often anymore, but that is very isolating, and so she takes opportunities to spend time around people when she can, and that is what had happened to them the night before. The party agreed, was like, okay, cool, we're so sorry that happened, that's some shit, we'll help you out, we have some ideas, come with us. under the mountains, maybe we can find some, like, solution to your problem by getting you away from the stars where horrible, what's his name is from. Did I write his name down? No, I did not, so I'm not saying it this session so that I can review the VOD later. Not had previously gotten sort of like a weird, like, holy, like, spiritually important vibe off of Alvara, and told her that she had a feeling that, you know, no matter what was going on with Alvara, for some reason, she and Nott's purpose were connected. And that was, you know, beyond Nott's other comforts of physical comfort via a hug, and you know, some general words of kindness that you know, she was more than this thing. That was really enticing to Alvara, and Alvara sort of like signed on to help Nott in whatever way she needed. But I think Nott is pretty aware that the arrangement is actually much closer to her helping Alvara reach a point where she's a person. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. That sound right? Am I missing anything? Cool. Let's do a little bit of roleplay before we go to a break, because we talked a lot at the beginning of the episode today. Oops. So yeah, I believe when we left off, y'all had, I mean, you camped for the night. You were all rested. Well, rested. You're not fully recovered, but it's gonna be a while before that happens. Does somebody want to take us on a journey?
We're making our way to
journey.
Yeah.
We are continuing toward. We have in the group text journey to the secret tunnel.
Yes.
Secret tunnel through the mountain.
Secret
Yeah,
Secret tunnel.
I will never be able to say the words or hear the word secret tunnel without thinking.
Yep.
None of
That's
us will.
wrong.
No.
And die. Okay.
All right.
In the mountains.
We walk in.
Moves. There's a move. There's an adventure move.
Moves.
It's called Undertake a Journey. Who wants to roll
Yep. Hold on. I need to refresh my brain on what that one actually entails.
It uses wits.
I can do that. I'm good at wits.
Nott's usually
Go for it.
been leading them, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Nott's got
Whoa!
wits.
Okay.
Can we get something other than misses and weak hits today? Please roll 20.
Okay. Set the rank of my journey.
It's already set. It's
Formidable. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just gonna go for it. Here we go. Woo! Everybody, good luck.
Good luck.
We believe in you.
Strong.
Hey! That's what
Good
we
job,
like to
Nott.
see.
Yeah.
On a strong
I'm
hit,
just
you
feeling
reach
so good. I got my bird girl back. Flying up in the sky.
On a strong hit, you reach a waypoint. If the waypoint is unknown to you, envision, and then choose one. Either you make good use of your resources, and you mark progress, or you move at speed, and then mark progress and take +1 momentum, but you suffer -1 supply.
I think if it's chill with everybody, I'm just gonna make good use of our resources. Unless y'all are fine with getting rid of supply. You tell me.
You're at 3 supply right now.
Thoughts,
Either way,
feelings,
but
everyone?
We probably should hang on to our supply.
That's
for
what I was
health
thinking.
purposes.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay.
So we will make good use of our resources and mark progress.
All right, go ahead and mark that on the group tracks. Just click the mark button.
Absolutely. I will do it.
'Cause I don't think we're in a hurry, really.
Mark. No,
Not really.
not really. We've never been in a hurry.
I mean, we're heading towards a mountain with a dragon on
The
it.
mountain's not going anywhere.
Yeah, you have
Right.
weird inverse pressures. On the one hand, there's a horrible otherworldly creature that may track you down at any time.
Yeah.
Right.
And moving
On the
fast.
other hand, there's a dragon sitting on that mountain somewhere.
And getting close to it quickly is less than ideal. Yeah, neither of these.
When you're
Yeah,
stuck
yeah.
This is
between
the
a dragon
definition of
and
being-
an eldritch being.
Yeah. This is literally the definition of between a rock and a hard place as it
Yep.
was originally written.
Yep. Oof. So yeah, where do you find what is this location that you reach along your journey?
So this area has been
Yeah.
like we're heading into essentially dwarven territory, or what was dwarven
Yes.
territory, allegedly, right?
Yeah, so big picture. Actually, do I have a map? Do I have a map for us in this campaign? I think I
Oh, you
do.
did.
I do. Let me.
Can we have a map?
Let's drag players. Oh god, do I remember how to use a mouse and use Roll20? We haven't done this in so long.
Look in
well,
there.
we can't really see on this map, so no.
Dang
Dang it. I need to make an even big I need to just make a new map for this campaign specifically. Essentially, there is a range of mountains along the north that goes east to west. There's a big area of hinterlands. And then there are some lowlands which are on that map. That's like the Cape Symbol, is it? Yeah, like Cape Symbol is sort of the northernmost reach. A little bit beyond that, and you start getting into things thin out. It gets a little more taiga, tundra-y, and then eventually you have the foothills. I think you're sort of in the foothills-ish area now. So there's like a weird, not no man's land, undefined area between what was the kingdom there to the south and the now locked up kingdom of dwarves to the north. Sort of my thoughts is probably there was some like intermingly like tradey stuff, like, you know, both kingdoms had representation, like politically had representation in these places, and that's sort of like that's my
sort of a
thought.
mingled settlement or something that might have been there, or like a meeting place,
Yeah,
trading
and
post.
I
type
could
of
see,
place.
especially because like this border area stretches for like hundreds of miles laterally. I could see lots of different places in there. I don't know that's specifically we have one place in between our kingdoms.
Exactly one trading post.
So much as like many smaller places seems more likely. Big trade likely happening deeper into each of those kingdoms.
Maybe a space that, or a spot that was potentially like a checkpoint at one point in the past.
I could see that.
So like kind of imagining like a small fortress basically,
Yeah.
or the remnants thereof.
Yeah. Let's ask some oracle
We'd probably be
questions.
drawn to it too if it had any kind of like fortification, like
Yeah.
remaining, because it's such a, being pursued by whatever this thing is.
Yeah.
Even though it comes up out of the ground, like whatever, we maybe could help.
It'd be a
maybe even
good
a
place
wall.
to
Maybe we
like
can get up
also
high,
just
like it has
having
some height on
shelter
it.
in also just having shelter in general is kind of handy.
Yeah, absolutely. Sleeping inside.
I'm gonna roll the location descriptor oracle. We'll see if that gives us anything fun to work with. Corrupted. Ooh.
Oh no. I love it.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna roll one more time because I think a little bit of juxtaposition is nice. Big. Okay, it's big. Thanks,
This was
IRONSWORN.
a prominent checkpoint.
Yeah, so I think maybe feel free to just overwrite anything I say if you have better ideas, or ideas that you like more, rather. I think you've been sort of traveling along a road, like an old, now poorly maintained stone road, that like clearly was a main thoroughfare through the region before before the news broke and the world started to fall. And as the like foothills grow steeper and we get like larger, like big cracked stone ridges, there is a point where the road passes between sort of two sharp cliffs, like big outcroppings from the ground, and built across the road and over it is a fortress that like both straddles like these two high cliffs, but also like fills the space between, so there is no like approaching the road. Clearly you would be seen by the fortress, but also there is no actually continuing along it without going into the fortress or going far around to one of the sides. How does that sound?
Makes sense.
Okay.
Sounds great.
As you approach, I think it's clear, like you can see it from a long way away. Like it doesn't surprise you by any stretch. You see it some miles before you ever arrive, and as you get somewhat close, within a 15-minute walk, let's say, I think the vegetation grows sparser, and not you feel uncomfortable in this space, like unwelcome maybe. It's that weird feeling when you, like, anyone with anxiety knows this feeling. You're around people and you just get the feeling that they don't want you there. Like,
It was the sign that on the door when we came in that said no birds allowed.
yeah, that one.
That
one.
made her feel
Yeah.
unwelcome.
Yeah, it was on the side of the road, and it was like just a picture of a bird with a circle and a line
Birds
through
turn
it.
back now. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. And I think there's like the shrubbery, like the bushes and the trees that you had sort of been intermittently moving through fall away and are replaced by this like low, dense brown moss. It's like really spongy, and it grows between the cracks in the stones of the road, but also as you approach this structure is not of gray, like it doesn't look like it's made of gray stone. It's like completely enshrouded by this just golden brown moss. Ash, you don't feel anything off at all. Like,
Cool.
it's old. It's whatever. Verlin, you're
How haunted is this shit?
very,
So
Fortress
haunted.
is haunted.
yeah. You hear voices.
Oh, that's fun.
Like, have you ever, this happens to me every time I go to a convention and I don't sleep. For the next like 2 days afterward, if I'm in a room alone with no other people, I just sort of like hear people talking, like because I've been so inundated with the sound of many people talking. It's like that. Like, you're not hearing any words. There's no recognizable anything. You just have like the sensation of hearing people talk around you.
Cool. So
Yep.
haunted.
Awesome.
A lot of spirits stuck here. That's great.
What do you do?
I mean, it seems fine to Ash, just old, so
Yeah.
he will proceed.
Not as like. I think she did this weird thing when they first came in. I think she's been doing this a lot, where she's been transforming back and forth between a bird and a person, like a lot more than usual,
Mhm.
because she's like testing just to make sure it's like still there.
Make sure she's
Um,
not stuck in one or the other.
Yeah. And I think it was like, I think she was like a bird when they got there, right? And
Mhm.
she just like, she kind of flickered back and forth between being a bird and a person like multiple times, like
Mm.
4 or 5 times in a row. because it was just an uncomfortable feeling. So it's like a really weird, like glitchy effect of her just transforming back and forth super fast when they first got in, and then she kind of like hangs back towards like the entrance, looking like super uncomfortable. I think in her human form, because it's like strange. Like her emotions are different and intense in a different way as a human, but they're like less instinctually intense, if that makes sense. I think as a bird, that discomfort would be like significantly more. So she settles on person. She's like, I hate this either way, but okay. Yeah. So she's like being weird at the back.
I would imagine that Ash is generally taking point when it comes to entering places like this anyway, because he has a shield and he's armored, and if something hits him, it'll be mostly okay.
You know, he won't die immediately.
Exactly. he is the meat shield. But he's still going to proceed with caution. He's not just strolling on in like, cool, what's up? So I think he is kind of advancing, shield up, just getting a head on a swivel, getting a look around to see if there's any, garden variety threats that might be out here, lurking in here.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Berlin, I think, is in between, where Ash is kind of walking through and not is staying at the door. I think she's kind of like standing in the space, and looking around and kind of hearing the voices, and it's a lot. Normally you don't get this many spirits in one place all at once. And so I think she's kind of just listening to them and listening to where they generally are coming from, or if it's everywhere. Just getting the vibes.
I'd say it's everywhere, but it's not simultaneous. It's sort of like when you hear something and you turn to look, you hear something else in a different direction. Like it's just constantly dancing away from your perception, your ability to pinpoint. I think we see Alvara is probably staying pretty close to Nott. She looks concerned. Fauna, on the other hand, is just like, whoop, what's this? And just like sort of wanders away. The area that we're in, there is a massive gateway, which has no gate over it. Huge stone arch, and it leads into a fully like roofed and enclosed, like massive, almost cathedral chamber. That's probably some, I don't know, like 150 feet up. Like it's massive. Very tall, very wide. You could easily just pass like 100 people through here in each direction without any trouble. But because it's covered, it's very dark, it's gloomy. All of the light, once you get a little ways in, and it's no longer spilling in through that open gateway, comes from like small holes in the ceiling, just these little pinpoint shafts of light that illuminate like almost like candlelight the space around. And so Fauna, Ash, as you're advancing slowly, Fauna just sort of like takes a left and is like, what's the stuff over on the side? Because there are some things that are some old vague remnants of maybe carts, and the walls themselves, though they're like all of the details are muted and rounded by the ever-present moss. The walls are covered in carvings, some purely like geometric and stylized, and others depicting people and livestock and all sorts of scenes of journey and trade. What do you do?
I'm assuming we're like getting out like some kind of lighting source, something like that.
Yeah. You could do so.
Yeah, I think Not kind of has been like kind of holding back, but will eventually go to catch up with Ash. I think she's just kind of like, are we sure we should stay here?
You've got a bad feeling about it?
Mm-hmm.
How so?
There's something that doesn't want me here, I think.
He kind of looks around. Nothing seems particularly unusual to his eyes, but he's willing to trust not. Perhaps we should regroup and decide what to do then. He's probably been kind of walking around getting a look at these murals and just trying to get a sense of like, what was this place?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of try to determine like, okay, whose was this place also? Like, was it more dwarven? Was it some other civilization? That sort of thing. He's just been wandering around with a bit of curiosity and also just like safety checking the perimeter, so to speak.
What do you think, Kiana? What do you think Ash sees on these walls? Like, what does he pick up on?
Ooh, okay. I think that the base, like, I think you can see that it was dwarven, like, but there are sections of it which seem painted over by someone else in like a vastly different style.
Sure. Probably been here for a while, so who knows what could stay. Come on, let's go get to Verlaine.
Okay.
I think there's a loud clatter off to the left, by the wall where Fauna is, and she just like
He
jumps,
swings like
visibly, like
sword and shield out.
yeah. Fauna turns. Sorry, and she's got like a helmet that's definitely too big for her. That's like almost covering her eyes on her head.
I don't think that you should be touching things, especially not putting them on your head.
It's
You
just
should be careful.
sorry. She takes the helmet off and tosses it to the side.
Be mindful of what you touch. It could be cursed.
She like takes a step back and like dusts her hands off. Oh, okay. She just steps back toward the group.
like, Sally.
Okay.
Uh,
She's just
Yeah,
like
well-
idly rubbing her hands on her pants now, and will continue to do so for several minutes.
he just gestures for her to come with them and heads back to wherever Ferlin is still at.
Berlin had been standing in the same spot since everyone got into here.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the group regroups.
Verlin, there's something strange about this place.
There's a lot of spirits that are stuck here.
Oh, are they mean spirits? They don't like me here, I think.
I can't tell.
Could you find out quickly?
I can
Go.
try.
We could move on from this place unless you want to deal with them.
Well, I could try and go back to the spirit world. I've been there before. I know my way around.
I
What if you
don't.
didn't, though?
Just
Maybe if they could meet me and get to know me, they would like me better.
No, that's all right.
give me a moment.
He nods.
Yeah, and Verlin's gonna, she's gonna go into a bag, and is going to grab a bunch of candles and incense, and start like just kind of just finding like an open enough space that she's just like planting them into a circle, And I think she lifts up her eye patch, and probably in the darkness you can see the gold that runs through her pupils, for that particular covered eye. And yeah, I know that the communion thing is really for remains of a recently deceased intelligent creature.
Yeah.
But I'd like to at least just like get more of a vibe that's
Let
happening
me
here.
let me take a look at the. Yeah. So
That
you do.
move's so much more fun if you break that recency rule.
There's an advance for it.
If I advance it,
Yeah.
if I advance it, I get the option.
If there weren't an advance for it, I'd just break it right now.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to say is you're just going to get, like, even on a success, you're just going to get the basis level information here.
Yeah, I think that's... I mean, community is more for, like, actually talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm more just... I would just like to get the vibes of the spirits here.
Yeah.
Are they angry?
Yeah, are they mad? Are they just attached here?
Yeah.
Confused, lost.
That's more what I'm looking for.
You can
is just
roll
like,
for vibe.
Cool. Rolling
Vibe
for
check
vibe.
the spirits.
Cool. Let's roll heart then. Weak hit.
Weak hit. Okay. So on a weak hit, you will get a response, but it's I believe it's troubling is what it says.
Yeah,
Notice-
troubling news unrelated to your purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, you're trying to get a vibe. I don't think you're close enough.
Okay.
Is what you'll learn really is that like the thing parentheses z that you're feeling are deeper in than you are now.
Okay.
Troubling news unrelated to your purpose. You sense something dark in Alvara.
Cool.
I'm going to ask an above table question. How much experience does Verlin have with demons?
Oh, fun. I think there's probably been like 1 or 2 times where she's been called in for like a spirit thing.
Mhm.
And it's not a spirit thing, it's a demon thing. She
Uh-huh.
doesn't really know how to deal with it, but she can identify it as like,
So she would know if someone was growing the seed of a demon.
yes, I think so. Like, she would have no idea what to do with it,
Yeah.
but she has like, great.
Yeah. Alvara is... there's no way to... Like, Verlin doesn't know how dire the situation is. Because for some people, like, they do one bad thing, and it, like, that little demonic seed lives within them for, like, decades. And sometimes not so much. So,
Cool.
but you definitely, like, as you're feeling around at the spirits around you, there's a spiritual being beside Alvara that is not
That is
not
inside.
normal. Yeah.
Cool, love that.
Yep.
I have to enroll it to endure stress. Great.
Yay!
Woo!
That tracks.
All right, let's do this. My heart is higher right now.
Oh no.
Weak hit again.
Oof.
Which I press on.
Yep.
Cool.
Upper.
Hello, Pupper. Yeah, so I think as she's in her ritual circle, you watch as like the candles all blow one direction, and then they all blow another, and then they blow in the direction of Alvara and go out. And Verlin will just kind of flip the eye patch back over the spirit seeing eye, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whatever these spirits are, they're, if I want to talk, they're further in. But, I think she looked for a very long time at Elvira.
I think Ash can kind of pick up that there's like something Ferlin is probably not saying, but he's gonna keep that to himself. Perhaps we should just carry on. Doesn't seem as though this place is safe.
I would say so, unless we're going to be on edge all night.
I can keep watch.
I'm not sure if you'll see or feel this kind of threat.
It should be okay for one night, and we can stay close to the front.
We stay nearest to the surface and stay close to the door. We can at least get out if we've got to. You all need rest. He asks as someone who never does.
No, I think you're right.
All right. Very well. Then, as the group of you make camp here near the southern entrance of this fortress, we are going to go to our first break, which will be a little bit shorter because our time is wonky. But we will be back in just a handful of minutes to see what our heroes find here, if anything. See you soon. Hello, and welcome back to episode 8 of From Dust Before It Settled. I think really quick, what I would like from y'all is a camping check. Camping check. Are we playing Ryutama? I would like
Make camp move?
Make camp, because I'm assuming y'all are making camp, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Who wants to roll that has better luck than me?
Kiana.
I could give it a go.
I mean, I can roll if y'all want, but...
Mark
Burning
failure.
momentum on a camping check feels real weird, but...
It does
Burning
feel weird.
8 momentum too. Like that's so much.
Ooh.
I could succeed on this camp check, but I gotta burn all my momentum.
I mean, missing here sounds like it makes sense narratively anyway.
It does make sense narratively here.
Yeah.
Don't forget to mark the failure. But I think like you can't get a fire started here.
Fun.
Like as much as the moss like seems dried out, and so should like burn fine. Like you should be able to just clear a space and burn some shit. It just like nothing, no fire starts at all. So you're stuck here on like the cold hard ground, eating dry rations, like that you had on hand.
Did our torch like go out when we actually entered this place then potentially?
No. It's not. It doesn't feel like it's enchanted to be without flame. It's just like you can't get a fire started on the ground. It's too damp, and also like it's really windy. So you may struggle with torches. If you have a lantern, that would probably like a covered lantern. That'd probably be fine. But because there's this just massive door and this huge open space, you know, the general how do I say this without getting really nerdy and scientific, like an idiot, and ruining all the fantasy vibes? As the wind moves outside, and blows in through this large entrance into an enclosed space, I think the enclosure causes these like strong and chaotic eddies of wind throughout the room that just make it essentially impossible.
Mhm.
And I think Ash, as much as it sucks for you to not get sustenance, when like good sustenance when you need it, I think for everyone else, you just aren't sleeping tonight. Sleep does not come to you, and that becomes pretty apparent by like, I don't know, 2 a.m. What do you do?
I think that Not is very much like a person who, when she can't sleep, like she listens to like the vibes, like she listens to her body and she listens to like the environment kind of thing. So if she's like, oh, I'm not sleeping, she's gonna like, because she doesn't like this place very much. I think that she's kind of like doing laps in and out. Like she's not flying deeper into this area. She's kind of like, she'll fly outside to like get fresh air and then come back in and go back outside. It's like it's very bat-like, which is kind of a weird vibe.
Yep.
You know how bats kind of like flit around and you're like, where the fuck are they going? I think that's like very not. She's just kind of flitting around like absently, like doing loops, doing dives, like I think
Just
like
moving.
doing weird tricks. Yeah, exactly. Just movement. But yeah.
Verlin,
Yeah.
how about you?
Yeah, I think Berlin is I think like for the longest time she just like lies down and tries to sleep and realizes it's not happening. And so I think that she's now situated herself like kneeling and positioning herself in a meditative state. But the voices just keep distracting her, bringing her out. So, yeah, she's like she looks like she's at peace and resting, but she is not.
Yeah, I think Ash will have been doing his usual patrol because that's just the way of things. Like the not sleeping is normal for him. But he is kind of concerned seeing that the others are not resting.
Yeah, how far does Ash patrol? Is he just keeping a tight loop around the party, or is he like making sure to check the edges of the space?
I think he would be checking the edges of the space and just not ranging completely far. Like he's not going to go wandering around inside the ruin, but he will kind of like dip ahead in a doorway or something to
just like not going deep into the tunnel, but checking the sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those like as he makes his like lap number 1, comes back, checks on the group, and is like, "Oh, you're still awake. Everything okay?"
Yeah.
Goes again, comes back, they're still awake.
Not's doing weird dive bombs on the rest of the not sleeping party.
And Verlin, you're meditating?
Trying to.
Sure.
Externally meditating.
Difficult with a bird flapping very close to you every few minutes.
There is...
I don't think he would disturb Verlin if it looks like she's actually meditating as far as he can tell, but he'd probably like invite Not to come with him if she doesn't want to sleep.
I imagine there's like a point where like Verlin like wonders whether she should offer to like papoose Not.
It's like, do you want to cuddle? You need a hug?
Not, do you go with Ash? Or do you just continue your swoops?
No, I think she would. She would go with him.
Okay. I think there's a moment of coincidence where Ash and Not, y'all are near the edge of the passageway for a time. And Verlin, you like almost feel, right? You feel like you're on the edge of like hitting that moment of peace and calm. It's like it's just barely out of reach. What is it that's holding you back? Like what keeps you from getting there? Verlin.
I think, there's a sense of duty that happens around here. Her whole overall quest is to reopen the door between the living world and the spirit world, because right now someone has closed it, which is not great, because spirits aren't supposed to linger for too long in the natural order of things. Obviously there are exceptions. Cough, Ash, cough. There are exceptions in the sense of like fulfilling a purpose, but like most spirits don't have those same attachments or need to complete anything. So there's obviously this burning question of what happens here to have all of these spirits stuck here in one place, and feeling that need to figure it out or help if she can. Yeah, so I think like probably after the other two head out and meditating clearly not working, just gonna stand up and trailing the mural wall, just walk a little deeper inside.
Okay. How far are you planning on going? Are you just going to go until something happens, or do you have a limit?
Probably have a limit. I'm by myself. Well, I have the other two, Fauna and Ova, but I
About
don't think. Yes.
You don't.
Oh, great. Where are they?
Alvara's there.
Okay.
Alvara has like taken some of the like loose stonework, because this main gate was originally made of stone, and like crumbling pieces of it lay scattered for several meters or tens of meters down the road, and so she's got a piece of this masonry that she's sort of like copying the designs on. Fauna is nowhere to be seen.
Great. Do I know where she went?
You were so close. You were so focused in on trying to find this that you lost track of your surroundings.
Great.
We lost the baby.
we lost the kid.
And
Damn it.
Ash and Not patrol their way back, having been far enough away from the sort of camping spot that they didn't really see anything.
Great. So I think at that realization, like, oh fuck. I think she'll very quickly walk back to the campsite. Did you see where Fauna went?
Question. Did I?
No.
Was there... So, Ash would be pretty cognizant of the group. Was there a point at which one of the times he left, she was still there, and then he came back and she wasn't? Like... Assuming he's made maybe like 3 or 4 runs
asking-
through the place during the night.
I'm gonna ask an oracle because I actually don't
Okay.
know. It could go either way. Either this could be that time, or looking
Mhm.
back, maybe there was a while back.
Sure.
Either one is interesting to me, so I'm just gonna ask. And I think this is basically a 50-50. No, this is like as you come back. I think it's immediately apparent to Ash that Fauna
like-
is not there.
Yeah, so that being the case, like as he returns, is not bird or person right now.
Bird.
Okay. So chilling on the
Bird's
shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah, I think as he comes
Very
back, he sort of does
cuddled
the...
very close to his head, just like so close.
Oh. Yeah, he kind of does you can see his eyes kind of dart to each spot where he remembers he left the others
Mhm.
and lands almost immediately on the empty spot where he knows Fauna was the last time, before he even really notices Firlin looking concerned. I take it she's just disappeared.
Yep. Yeah. I got up to go investigate and then realized she had gone somewhere.
So the last time we saw her, she was just kind of fucking around in a corner somewhere and like...
Yeah, before you made camp, she had been
Yeah.
checking sort of like the detritus along the side of the tunnel.
Sure.
But I think, Ash, because you were keeping track of people, the last you would have seen of her was probably like restringing her bow. Just sort of like general maintenance stuff. But she looked incredibly bored.
I don't think she's enjoyed sitting around here. She's probably ran off exploring again. How much of this space is like open? Reason I'm asking is because if it makes sense to, Ash would probably ask not to like do a flyabout to quickly see if she could locate her.
You actually don't know where the other end is.
Okay.
It's because
Okay.
like this gate that you're at is open, and so there's some moonlight streaming in. You can faintly see almost like stars, these holes in the ceiling, but it just gets so dark further down
Further
that
in,
you're
okay.
not sure.
All right, we're not gonna canary in the coal mine this with not. That's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah.
You want to split up and see if we can find her?
Not would turn back into a person. That seems like a bad idea.
2 and 2. Yes, he just volunteered Alvara, but so what?
Well,
There's 4 of us.
you're in it now.
It's right. It's not a free ride, sweetie.
Okay, yeah, we could stay in 2 groups. What would we come back here soon?
Yes.
Meet back here? Okay, who wants to go with who?
What would be the most strategically appropriate? What I'm trying to think.
Well. What do we think above table?
Yeah, that's
Or
what
I
I'm
guess
trying
like,
to think.
who would want to go with whom?
I think
It seems like Ferlin has bad vibes about Alvara, so I'm assuming she's not gonna want to stick with her.
Well, there's kind of like a hey, do you know there's a demon in you?
that's what I was thinking too. Like, Verlin is also the most equipped to, and the only person who feels that or knows about
Mhm.
that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think narratively that's the most interesting because there's potential to
Yeah.
like, dig into that.
Mhm.
Um,
Like so.
Okay.
So can we talk about the demon inside you?
Knott's with Ash already anyway, so
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
That would also be fine. Like Ash literally has no problem going with any one of the three here. So
so is the plan
Yeah.
for like each group to take one side
like
of the tunnel and
yeah,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
one side. Probably like take 20 minutes, go as far as you can, and if you don't see anything, come back.
Yeah.
okay. And you will be able to see each other's lights.
Mhm.
It's far enough apart that you might not be able to see good detail of each other at that distance, but you'll be able to see if someone like turns off or disappears.
Sure.
Um, okay.
So we got lanterns and we go.
Mm-hmm. Um. So you make your way down this tunnel, and I think I want to follow Verlin for a bit. So, does she go off on her own a lot, like this?
She's done it once or twice. She's very eager.
I have noticed that.
There's no particularly sensitive way of asking this, but do you know that you have something inside of you?
How does someone interpret that question? I think she just sort of looks at you like just with confusion. With she's perplexed. She just is confused. She doesn't understand the question. I'm not sure what you mean.
Do you know much about demons?
No. I mean, I know what everyone knows. They come from bad emotions. They eat you. Hide in the dark.
So, demons are. They don't just show up, nor are they created from nothing. If you think of it this way, every person has a body as a vessel to hold a spirit. And when it's time for that person to pass on to the next world, the body, the vessel, and the spirit separate. Demons form when that person does something during their life that plants something new inside of the vessel with the spirit. I think generally the colloquial term is a seed. And
You are saying I have
sometimes
one of these in me.
Yes. And sometimes it doesn't find any fertile ground to grow in and just remains there until it dies. But sometimes it gets fed. Then it grows, takes root, until eventually, from what I do know about demons, not quite my area of expertise, but it transforms the spirit and therefore the vessel. And that's where demons come from.
So, what do you think, Verlin?
What do I think about what?
Do you think me rich soil?
I don't think I know you well enough. I think the more important thing is whether you feed it or cultivate it.
I have no such intentions.
Good.
Why didn't you tell the others?
Well, how do most people react when they are told about demons?
It depends. Either they grow scared, or they accuse you of lying.
As much as my friends are not the usual type when it comes to these things, as I'm sure you're well aware at this point, it's generally etiquette, best practice to talk to the person first privately, let them know ahead of time what the situation is, and they get to make their own choices.
Are you going to tell them?
That's mostly up to whether it becomes a point where I think it's going to become prudent. But if, as you say, you don't intend on cultivating that seed and avoiding it, I don't see why I should have to worry about it too much.
Well,
But ultimately, it's your choice.
thank you for letting me know. I think at about this point, some 10 minutes along your journey deeper, and you've passed several side passages, so there are ways further into the fortress from here. Those passageways being much smaller, meant for people, and not, I don't know, the entire fucking world at once. You reach the other end, and as you do, you can start moving back toward each other, toward the middle, and it's clear that this gate is not broken down. This gate is still here, and it's closed. Whatever mechanism opens it is not readily apparent or accessible from inside this main tunnel. But as you approach, as you reach the center, as you meet back up, you can see in the firelight cast from your lanterns, you can see some 10, 15 arrows scattered on the moss, as if dumped out from a quiver. And with that, we're at the top of the hour. And I think this is a good place for us to go to our second and final break. To be clear, they're Fauna's arrows, not like old arrows. So we are going to step away for about 10 minutes. And when we return, we're going to return to this weird tension between Alvar and Verlin, and also the whole party's quest to find their goddamn hunter. See you soon. Hello, and welcome back to the final hour of episode 8 of From Dust Before It Settled. The two groups of you have arrived at Fauna's arrows scattered across the moss, just resting there. What do you do?
Curse slightly. Yeah, no, Ash literally curses under his breath. It's probably not a local word.
Not would immediately take off from, I think she's just been mostly bird form and like flying ahead and back. So I think she would pretty much take off of Ash's shoulder and start scanning the area, looking to see if she's around.
Yeah, I'm curious. How good hawk night sight?
Hawk
How
night
good
vision.
Can hawks see at night well?
It's a good question.
No clue.
Can hawks see at night? I ask Google.
What does Google say?
They do not do very well at night, it seems.
Nope.
I literally just typed in can hawk and it with the first auto suggested.
Yeah.
They're diurnal birds, so
They are.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. They see UV light, which is part of why, because the sun outputs a lot of that, right? So they see things really well during the day, but not great at night. Yeah, it's very dark in here, but I think it makes sense. I'm not gonna like be an asshole about it. You go and fly around and you're looking.
Even if she can't see well, she can fly low, right?
Yeah.
Sure. So.
Yeah, you can look. Berlin? Can
Sorry.
What does Verlin do?
Yeah, I think just continue to follow the walls and like look and try to see if there's, obviously we have the arrows here. Is there anything else that's been dropped or left or anything?
Ash?
Yeah, I think Ash will actually stay where the arrows are and kind of crouch down, get a look at like where they fell. Look if there's like, are there any footprints here? Any signs of struggle? Did she just vanish from thin air? Like, what's going on in the dirt?
Yeah, I think how I'd like to do this is have Verlin and not help Ash do a roll.
Sure.
Makes sense.
So if
Okay.
Verlin and not you wanted to roll, God, I need to look at the moves.
Aid your ally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aid
When
your
you
ally.
secure an advantage and direct support an ally and score a hit, they can take the benefits.
Yeah. So I guess that's roll, secure, and advantage. I feel like you're
I would
both using
assume-
observation,
Yeah, that makes sense.
which would be Wheats. Wheats
Weak hit.
and a weak hit. Okay,
You
on a
get
weak hit.
you get +1 momentum.
Yeah, so you take
Yay.
+2 momentum, Ash.
Neat. Yeah, and I think for my purposes, gather information makes sense here.
Yep.
All right. Do. Wits, I'm so good at.
So
That-
good.
Hey, it's not 0.
I'll take it.
Hey!
Ooh, a strong hit. You discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision what you learn.
Another 2
and take
momentum. Hell
plus
yeah.
2 momentum. Fuck yeah.
You got so much
Um,
momentum.
Good.
I think sort of what Not in Verlin you're doing is eliminating possibilities. Like you're finding like very obviously overgrown or dusty or just like clearly fauna wasn't here spots, which really narrows things down for Ash. Ash, as you're examining the ground, the moss seems undisturbed, essentially. At first. I mean, it's all so spongy, like it all just springs
Sure.
back super quick.
Sure.
But upon closer inspection, and as Not and Verlin come back and report that they saw nothing in their particular areas, you can just barely make out a pair of essentially drag marks in the soil that are long and continuous, moving toward one of the walls.
Okay. Yeah, I would imagine as he's feeling around, it's probably he felt it more than actually saw it.
Yeah, it was just like everything is sort of flat, and then there are these two like very shallow divots.
Yeah, so I think he will kind of follow that, and it's a bit awkward because he's sort of following on hands and knees a little bit to feel it out under the moss, but then gets a sense of the direction it's going. It looks like she was dragged this way. Come on. And we will follow the tracks.
Yeah, they lead directly to a side passageway.
Great.
It's unambiguous. It's clear that she was pulled through this archway and deeper into the fortress. You press on?
Yeah. Oh, also, he would have packed up the arrows and slung them over his shoulder or something before.
Not just
rather
leaving
than just,
Fauna's
like-
arrows there.
Right. Like, she's not going to need them, right? Surely not.
It's not like they're super labor intensive to make by hand.
Yeah, so we'll grab those before we go.
Cool. All right. The tunnels themselves are less overgrown. The floor, I think, still is that very, very mossy carpet. But the walls like become a little more bare as you move deeper in. And things sort of constrict down from what was this massive open space to an area where I think, Ash, you had to like duck through doorways. And it's a pretty like maze-like network of hallways and rooms that are unlike like where Eldrin ruins are so long out of use. It's unclear often what things were for. I mean, it's been, I don't know, less than 100 years presumably since this fortress was in use. You can still see like crumbling crates and beds and rusted out weaponry. As much as this place was enormous and clearly meant for many people long term, not just passing through, everything is very organized. Storerooms are very clear as you enter them. Armories, sleeping chambers, large open eating halls. And as you progress, not in Berlin, the sensations that you've been feeling are growing stronger. Berlin, your inability to tell direction is gone. You still can't quite make out phrases at all. Is just like this weird like facsimile of language, but you can hear it ahead of you now. And not you are getting the sensation. I think the comparison is like if you were out hunting and you noticed an eagle, something that could like fight you and eat you. It's that same sensation. You feel like prey.
Yeah, I think, she's been kind of in her bird form throughout this like trek. She turns back into a person again, just because it still feels vulnerable. It's just a different type of vulnerability, right?
Mm-hmm.
She feels less physically vulnerable in her human form.
Yeah.
And she's like right next to you, Ash. She's just like, I don't think I should be here.
Makes you say that?
Something is hunting me, hunting us. I don't know.
We need to find fauna and then we're getting out. Stay close. He just kind of puts a hand to her lightly.
Yeah, she's like attached to you at the attached to your side.
Yeah, I think he's taking a few steps and is like, don't worry, I'll protect you.
Okay.
Wherever we're going, that's where the spirits seem to be lingering.
Any recommendations on how you fight the ghosts?
There's a moment where Berlin thinks about quipping about how do we fight you, but like, she considers it.
She's never
for a
stabbed
moment.
himself before, so
Yeah.
What would you say your greatest weakness is, Ash?
Best thing to avoid is possession. So, especially you with your loose connections at best.
You noted. Well, if something's amiss, don't hold back.
Berlin's like, okay.
He's essentially saying, please go ahead and stab me if you must.
Yeah, Berlin's like, just have to knock the spirit out of your body
Yeah.
and just find your other one.
Yes.
I think as you progress, you find a door that has decayed off of its hinges. That leads to a staircase heading down under the earth. And I'm assuming you press on.
If there's nothing stopping us, then yes, Ash will take point. Although he wouldn't be the one holding any kind of light they have because he's kind of sword and shielding it.
Who is holding the light?
Probably Berlin. Her sword is one-handed.
Okay. All right. So
I can always hold it if I must. I have no weapon.
Yeah, but also you turn into a bird.
You're
I know.
you're bird mode right now.
Listen, I'll drop it if I have to. No.
So helpful.
Yeah.
So does that mean Verlin is in like just behind Ash then, so that
Probably,
can
yeah.
illuminate the way?
We're all like super clustered.
We're sort of
Yeah.
clustered. Yeah.
Yeah. You press down the stairs, and the sound of the wind from before completely fades away, and everything is just dead quiet. There's no like dripping water. Any movement that you make is muffled by the moss. Everything is just utter silence. You reach the bottom of the stairs, and it opens into a wide, low chamber. Another door down at the far end. It seems like maybe some kind of temporary storage. Unclear what will lie beyond the door. But as you step fully into the room, the walls shift. And you see some, I don't know, 10 humanoid figures emerge from the moss, skeletal, bony, heads sort of lolling, puppet-like, holding rusted out weapons and like battered shields. And they are going to move directly toward you with clattering purpose. They're gonna try and fight you. What do you do?
Seems
I'm
like
fine.
responding in kind makes a lot of sense given our position.
Okay, you want to try and fight?
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Anyone disagree?
No, we're in we go.
Yeah, I will say,
Alright.
in IRONSWORN, we don't do like a. It's not D&D. Initiative happens. You're in a fight. Yada yada. Like if you ever want to just run or do something else,
Just
feel
be like,
feel free.
nope.
Yep.
No, we're going to assume that Fauna is here somewhere,
Yeah.
and these are the culprits.
Yes.
Okay.
We need to deal with them so we can find our missing hunter.
All right. So I'm going to add a new track here. The Risen
Time to punch the
Dead.
skellies.
They are dangerous as 1 per, right? 2 per.
I think.
I think. Make it formidable.
Troublesome is like the lowest, which
Yeah.
I don't.
Troublesome
remember
is like
what
nothing. If you were fighting one of these, it would be troublesome. There's a sizable group of them. And I think we can just fairly say each progress box is like a skeleton.
Let's wreck 'em.
In fiction. All who would like to fight, please roll Enter the Fray.
I get to add a +1 because I'm fighting with Bastion. Which, speaking of, what's the vibe from Bastion right now?
Not loving it.
That
Cool.
seems to be a pattern so far.
Worried, frustrated,
Oh,
um,
great.
anxious.
Okay. You know,
Is this and I'm
exactly what
guessing
you
this
want
is
going
just-
into a fight.
This is just facing off against your foe, right? It's just hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this is. They're not particularly fast, so they're not really affecting an ambush here. Oh!
Wicked.
Yo.
Damn. Okay, so let's see. That's 2 weak hits for both of you. You can choose one. You can bolster your position to take +2 momentum, or you can prepare to act and take initiative.
Do I max out my momentum or do I take initiative?
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, you have the same
that's-
choice.
We have the same choice here. I think I'm gonna take initiative.
Likewise, because I think also with Ash taking point, he's probably just gonna like cut at the
I
first
also
one that
Yeah.
also get to take a +1 momentum anyways because of my kin blade.
Gotcha.
Mm.
So-
and you don't want to wait for them to come to you. You want to go to them. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Not on a strong hit. You take +2 momentum and have initiative.
Ooh.
You get both, and you got an opportunity. So, ooh, what is this? What do we want an opportunity to be?
Could it be does it have to be related to the fight, or could it be that I see where Fauna maybe is or went?
I don't think that's particularly like. There's only one way forward.
For
I
sure.
feel like that's
Yeah.
pretty clear. I don't want to give you a useless boon.
For sure.
Ooh. I think I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you some information that I would have held on to otherwise.
Ooh, okay.
All of these skeletons are their forms are intertwined with moss. Almost as if the moss is wearing the skeleton.
Cool.
Is moss
Cool.
sentient? What the
Y'all
fuck?
got some fire?
I have.
So yeah,
I have a torch.
We have
Woo!
a light.
Yeah.
Ash, you step forward and slay.
All right. Ash will just go forth, shield on one arm and sword in the other, and I'm a strike. I can find things on my character. Where? How does a mouse work? There we go. No, not edge. Yes, I will
But he's
attack
such
with my
an
sword
edgy
at
boy.
range.
Throw it.
Yeet.
Oh, damn!
Let's go.
Oh my god, what a start. Okay, so on a strong hit, for combat moves, strike. Strong hit, you inflict +1 harm, and you retain initiative, so you can mark twice. So you're taking out 2 of these things in one blow, essentially.
Yeah. Good. All right. Mark.
What does that look like?
Mark. I think we just sort of see him like dive into them and carve a gash across. So he just like takes the head off one, knocks it into the other, and just knocks him straight down.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of in the middle of the fray at that point.
Yeah. And I think you can you crush one of them, like as they fall, you crush them beneath your feet, and you find that
Yep.
there's some give or some pushback there. That's not just the springiness of the moss. It's like a person pushing back against you, trying to rise back up as you stomp them down. Opportunity. What do I want to give you on an opportunity? I'm just not used to y'all rolling this well.
I know. I can't even use any of my assets because most of them are like, if you need to burn momentum to not suck, then you
Right.
get things.
Which is smart. Gosh. I think you can obtain the same observation that that Not did, that what you're fighting is the moss.
Sure.
Not the skeletons.
Moss is just like puppeteering these things.
Yeah, and I think the realization that's going to come out of that is, as much as you can win, things are looking good. As much as you can win this fight, the moss will still be here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Great. So get in, find fauna, and definitely get the fuck out. Sounds like
and I'm going to give you
plan.
+1 momentum to represent that knowledge.
Sure. Cool.
Yeah.
Look at us with our so much momentum.
9 momentum.
This is gonna be real useful when we start to suck.
Yeah.
Verlin?
Yep. Going in. Let's do this. Not with edge, with
Let's see it. I was
Ooh.
hoping for a third opportunity.
No, that would have been great. No, I'll keep my 9 momentum. I'll hold it.
Okay. All right, so on a weak hit, you inflict your harm, but you lose initiative.
Yeah.
So you can move in, and you're finding, like, as is, like, pretty common with undead, it takes a lot to take them down. Whereas, like, a person, you poke them good once, they're out. Undead, you kind of have to get up in there and destroy things. So I think you're finding yourself, like, spending more time getting this one down than you had hoped or anticipated, and in that moment, others have maneuvered around you, sort of putting you on the defensive back foot. Not, you can observe this though. What would you like to do?
I don't know. I mostly, because Not isn't like a great fighter, I mostly like want to make sure that the other two are able to fight good, do good fight, while I run interference kind of vibes. If I could do that.
Just fly around and be annoying at
Do you want to
them.
just, like,
yes.
grapple one of these things?
Yeah.
Just, like, peck them in the eye sockets.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Just
what
obnoxious.
what specific action is not taking?
I would say maybe aid an ally.
Right, but like
Right?
like what
Oh,
actual?
in the fiction?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that she's going to. Is there any like rubble or stuff I could start dropping on them? I love dropping stuff on people. It's so fun.
You do
for
love
me.
dropping stuff on people.
Yeah.
I was sort of envisioning this is like a fairly low chamber, but I mean we can adjust that. Suddenly the room is much taller. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so it's secure an advantage.
That just means you went even deeper underground.
Great. I would say this is probably edge speed. Let me see. Well, I guess I don't know. What do you think? What is it?
Secure an advantage. Edge says
Speed, agility, or precision from
Yeah,
dropping
that sounds
stuff
right.
on them. Okay.
Yeah. Maneuvering around them, not getting hit, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Weak hit.
And I assume which friendo are you aiding?
Probably Ash, since Ash is going next.
There's no initiative.
I know. Oh well, there's an order. We've been going.
There
in a
is-
certain
there is
order,
no
so-
turn order.
You were hanging out on my shoulder.
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean, I
yeah.
don't. Yeah, Ash is fine.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So on a
Take
weak
plus one
hit.
momentum.
Yep, you're at 10, Ash. Congrats.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's just like grabbing like little whatever she can find off the ground and like dropping it like pretty accurately, I would say, like on their heads. But obviously, it's not gonna last very long. Like
Sure. All
Yeah.
right.
this only works. This only works for a short period of time before they catch on. They're like raise a shield or whatever, you know.
I think this again just sort of looks like. I think what he's really trying to do is not necessarily like defeat every last one of them, but carve a path on through so that we can get a better look around in here and see if we can even see fauna.
Yeah. I want to go to Verlin next, actually, because Verlin, you're finding yourself boxed in against the wall, as
Yep.
as you step out of position. What do you do?
I'm gonna try to strike them again, but with the torch this time.
Okay, interesting.
Burning
so
works.
that'll be a clash.
Yep.
Yep.
With iron, nothing. I am burning that momentum.
Okay. All right. So on a strong hit, you inflict harm and choose one. You do gain the initiative back. You can bolster your position and take +1 momentum, which will bring you to 3. Or you can find an opening and inflict +1 harm.
Let's inflict +1 harm.
Okay. Go ahead and mark twice.
Cool.
And so what are you doing with this torch? Are you just smacking them with it, or?
Yeah, so I think kind of in that motion of like going back on her back foot, she swings the torch out. And most of the time you would expect the torch to go out from the speed that is at, but I think she's trying very hard to keep it to be the flame and not the actual torch part.
Yeah.
That's hitting.
So as this happens, we see the shadows of the room like swipe around quickly, sort of like the light and dark of the torch flame against the shadows sweeping the room. And yeah, you manage to catch one of them alight, and it falls backwards, giving you just enough room to avoid an incoming attack. Ash, what do you do?
So, is Verlin doing okay at this point?
Yeah. Also, I
Is she
just
still
remembered
surrounded,
that I also just remembered I have Swordmaster,
Mhm.
and when I burned it, I can do 2 more harm.
Oh, yo!
Yeah, I mean, I guess you technically are wielding a sword. I feel like it's intended to be like when you do a sword thing.
Specifically the sword thing, but up to you. I just remembered that was the thing I have.
We could say you did both, right? I mean, you did inflict +1 harm. We could say that you burned one and slashed another.
Yeah, makes sense. Especially with burning momentum to do it.
Yep. So go ahead and +2 harm. Okay, mark twice more.
Yep. We're really far up this meter
Yeah,
already.
that puts you at 7.
Yep.
Y'all want to finish the fight, or should we just go all the way for safety? Because I could just hit some more.
You could finish the fight here if you wanted, Verlin.
I'd be down either way.
I'm fine with whatever.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Let us see. A weak hit. So, on a weak hit for end the fight. On a strong hit, the foe is no longer in the fight. They are killed out of action, flee, or surrender as appropriate to the situation and your intent. On a weak hit, as above, but you must also choose one. It's worse than you thought, and you endure harm. You are overcome, and you endure stress. Your victory is short-lived, and a new danger or foe appears, or an existing danger worsens. You suffer collateral damage. Something of value is lost or broken, or someone important must pay the cost. You'll pay for it, an objective falls out of reach, or others won't forget you are marked for vengeance. I'm going to say others won't forget doesn't make a lot of sense here.
No, the danger one, the one that's like, hey, new danger shows up,
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense in this place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you, we see Verlin at her most badass. You torch one of these, you swipe another with a sword, you carry that momentum in to another pair of strikes against 2 more skeletons. The way is clear. But the moss begins to bubble around you, creeping up the walls, and you can feel it grabbing at your ankles, trying to like subsume you and climb up you. The fight may be over, but the moss is like, the moss knows that the jig is up and it's not hiding anymore.
Cool. That's
What
fun.
do you do?
Let's just go find Fauna first, and then fight out later, or deal with it now.
Are we all getting grabbed, or was it just coming up at Berlin?
It's all of you.
Okay. Ash would
flying
stab at it
now.
and try to get free, and
Except
then
for not,
start
because
running.
not is flying.
Fuck Moss. Fly. See if you can fucking fly.
Yeah, I mean, we were headed this way to try and follow Fauna's trail, so Ash would just like give a good stab at the moss to get it off of him and go.
Let's press on. Okay.
Yep.
I think I would like to see Verlin and Ash face danger.
Makes sense.
Through whatever means feel appropriate to you.
Always aggressive action.
It's
Forceful
Ash.
defense, what have you.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't think I
Will
can
try to
argue
stab
heart here.
anything.
Yeah.
I think heart would be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. So we're gonna do iron.
Okay. So the two of you are just muscling through. It's a day at the gym.
Yeah.
Fuck this
Yeah.
boss.
It's leg day at the gym.
Weak hit.
Okay, weak hit for
Strong.
Verlin. You succeed but face a troublesome cost. Choose one. Your delays, lose advantage, or face a new danger and suffer -1 momentum. You're hurt, you're dispirited, or you sacrificed resources.
We'll lose 1 momentum. Why not? We'll go the opposite direction.
Down to 2. Okay.
I'm so sad. I just got a momentum, but I'm already maxed.
Alas! Is there a thing that happens when you overflow momentum? Is there anything there?
No, I think
I
you,
don't
I
think
you-
so.
I think you just
Oh.
don't get it.
Dang. Well, but you managed to push through just fine.
Yeah.
Verlin is struggling. Verlin, you're like, it's like walking through mud. It's just dragging on you as you move. And Ash, you can get to the other end of the chamber.
I think he would, rather than just like run on and be like, "Good luck," he would probably turn back to help Berlin and like try to cut some of it away from her and give her a chance to get free.
Okay.
So, aid an ally if you need me to roll on that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. Secure an advantage. So, I mean, this is technically could also be considered loyalty because friends, but also he's still just stabbing things. So aggressive action. What do you have a preference?
I don't care. I think it's what do you think the focus is narratively for Ash? Is this I have to help my friend and make sure we stay together, or is this a focus on like his feat of strength?
I'm actually gonna take the lower role because I think it is more I'm not leaving a friend behind
Okay.
versus like I'm going to stab the moss because it sucks.
Yeah. Weak hit or burn for a strong.
Well, what does Verlin get if with the weak hit? Get a momentum?
Yeah, Verlin gets 1 momentum on a weak hit. Or on a strong hit, she can choose between +2 momentum or immediately rolling a move and adding +1.
Do you want to take another move, or what are you feeling? I'm good
I
either
mean-
way.
Yeah, I mean, if we want me to get the fuck out, then probably having to face danger with a +1 will probably be helpful.
All right, let's do it.
All right, burn that momentum.
Did it.
Ash, you can reach out and grab Verlin. Verlin, with extra hold, you're finding it easier. But the moss is getting progressively more aggressive as time goes.
Woo.
So go ahead and roll face danger.
Okay. How am I trying to get out of this time? Yeah, I'm using strength.
It's
So
iron, right? Yeah.
yes. +1. Let's
Punch the moss.
Jesus fuck.
What the hell?
Mark a failure.
Yep.
No.
And I
Here we
need
go.
to read the face danger move real quick.
Whew. Sorry.
Well.
Ash, you had hold of Verlin.
Uh-huh.
But Verlin was not fast enough.
Great.
The two of you like grasp each other's forearms.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell that it's progressing up her calves, and she's just getting slower, and you're pulling, and there's a moment where things sort of slow and calm, and then the moss collapses in on Verlin, and she is pulled from your grasp.
Oh boy.
Verlin, you're going to take 1 harm.
Woo.
And I would like you to roll Endure harm.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh, down the 2.
We were doing so well.
We were doing so great.
The rolls tonight were so good.
Until they weren't.
Until they
Yeah.
weren't.
Until they decided to stop.
Until Roll 20 decided it was
Iron
drama
is-
time.
Iron is definitely higher.
Yeah.
Weak hit.
Weak hit.
I
Okay.
pressed on.
Yep. You were standing in the doorway here, Ash. You can see through the torch falling from Verlin's hand and landing, sputtering at your feet. The moss pulls away from it, so you're given like a brief moment of respite. You can see just beyond is a small chamber that's like I think it's like a wine cellar. There are many rotting casks with their iron hoops sort of bent out of shape.
Sure.
And there's a mound of moss, and in it, you see Fauna.
Great.
She is almost wholly subsumed, just barely, like you can see her nose poking out, breathing, and maybe like the tips of her fingers.
Oh boy. All right. I think he would look to Nod and just be like, "Go get Fauna. Hurry." Because we're not leaving Berlin, so he's going to be dealing with that. Although, having noticed that the torch sputtering around kind of made it drop back, I'm going to grab that torch.
Okay.
And try to relight it
Okay.
down here if I can.
Not. Do you move toward Fauna?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Are you going to light an additional light source for yourself?
I'm a bird right now, so
You're
the
a
moss
bird.
isn't on me. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So light source, who? Yeah, but I am headed over toward her.
Mhm.
Is the whole ground covered in moss? Like
Yes.
everything? Great. Oh, you said
I said.
that I want to do something really tricky, and I'm more than happy to roll for it to just be kind of wild and crazy. Not is gonna do a thing that she can do with enough space and very excellent timing,
Mhm.
which is you go up really high as you can go, you turn into a person.
Mhm.
And then so basically what she wants to do is get up high enough to be a person and take off her coat and drop it on the moss, and then like so she can land on that. Basically.
Okay.
Because her clothes go with her when she changes. But
Yeah.
if she's not wearing them, they don't go with her.
I think this is a face danger.
Yeah,
Probably
I'm
with
totally down
agility.
for that. Yeah. It's fucking
Because you're just trying to do this
nuts.
as fast as possible.
Yeah. And then obviously she takes it off, turns back into a bird so she can land without falling 40 feet or whatever, you know?
Mhm.
Okay. Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Hello, I'd like to face you. Okay.
Mark failure.
Roll 20, why?
Sure, I'd love to.
You go up into the air. It's not as high as you would prefer for a maneuver like this.
For sure.
The cloak comes off. You toss it to the ground. You land. Ash, you're pushing back the way you came after Verlin as like
Yep.
this mossy growth pulls her back toward the stairs. But the moss is not just one thing. And not as you land, the mound ahead of you rises, and fauna with it. And you see it begin to deform into a vaguely humanoid shape as fauna moves her arms. And one arm is going to swing out to grab you.
Ooh, super hate that.
And I don't even know what to do to you. If I'm being honest, damage maybe.
Let me live.
Whack.
I'm gonna roll pay the price. We're gonna see what that says. No, not that one. I disagree. Let's
Not
try that
another
again.
one.
No, seriously.
Oh my God.
Has an unintended Oh, yeah, you land. It rises. There's a brief moment as you feel the moss underneath you shifting and pulling away to join this larger form. And the ground falls away beneath you. The rotted floorboards of this cellar had been covered over by the moss, and as it pulls away, you descend. You fall some 10 feet. Ash, you hear the sound of cracking wood, and some like horrible rustling noise that's louder than it should be, and then you hear a splash as not you fall into essentially a reservoir. Your torch immediately extinguishing. And I think actually this is where we're gonna have to end the episode.
Great. We're fine. This is fine.
I just fly away. Just fly away.
Just fly away. Just fly away.
Bye.
Just fly away. Whatever.
Yeah, as Not falls just out of the grasp of this creature, Ash finds himself caught between two great dangers. Verlin pulled away to an unknown fate. We're going to end here, and we will have to find out what happens to our heroes in 2 weeks.
Sick.
That's what we
But
get for camping in a haunted fortress.
Right? But don't go anywhere. We're gonna do some outros. Starting with our good bird daughter, Summer.
Hi, it's me. Living on the surface of the sun, on fire. You can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. That's where I tweet and retweet about everything I've got going on. The only thing I really want to talk about that I want you to go check out is Missing Annie Lee. It is finished. It's a whole podcast. There's 21 episodes. They're all under an hour. And it's really good. So please go listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, literally anywhere podcasts are found. And let us know what you think about it because we worked really hard. I'll be back on Monday. Bye.
Kiana.
Yeah. You can find me over on Twitter at Kiana S. Best way to figure out what I'm doing. I do a lot of TJPC stuff. Like Missing Annie Lee, like streaming on Salt Street Games, like writing for a bunch of things. I've gotten busy again, as is my general state of being. So yeah, follow me there to find out what's going on, because that's where I usually post about it. Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, our hero torn between many fates, Jess.
Choices suck. Can I put a save state on that spot and go
Nope.
back if I have to?
Nope, no
Damn
saves
it.
coming.
Shit. Didn't realize we were playing like the Iron Man path.
It's called IRONSWORN, Jess. What did
Fair.
you expect?
Fair. Damn. Yeah, I'm Jess. You really won't find me doing anything on Twitter other than retweeting Genshin Impact art, but if you enjoy that, go for it.
It
Where
is
you
good
can
art.
find me where you can find me actually doing something cool is on Twitch in like a few minutes. We're going to be starting Collar Malice Unlimited, which is the sequel to what we just finished, Collar Malice, which was an amazing game. So if you like Otome games or just good crime drama, come hang out and listen to me do voices and stuff.
Hell yeah. I'm Dylan. You're on my channel. You can find me at NRSS on Twitch, Twitter, Patreon, itch.io, YouTube, not Instagram, because some motherfucker took it. I stream stuff primarily at this point, and all the recordings and stuff go up on YouTube. If you need some background noise, I highly recommend going and looking at some of the playlists on my YouTube for previous shows and ongoing shows. Summer and I have a show every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific here on Twitch, where we play, I almost said tabletop role-playing games. No, it's called RPG. That's the joke. We play point-and-click adventure games. Right now we're playing through Darkfall Ghost Vigil, which is a spooky, scary ghost hunting thing that's just getting spookier and scarier as we go. But again, if you're looking, I'm trying to push the YouTube thing. Just watch something. Just put it on in the background. Just mute the video. I don't care. But all of our previous stuff for RPG is up on YouTube, and we have played a bunch of games at this point. So check that out. Give it a look. See if you like it. Tuesday at noon Pacific, I will be back here playing Kingdom Hearts with Lauren. And Wednesday at either 5 or 6 Pacific, depending on how I feel during the day, it will be video game stream time, and I'm going to be playing After Party, because I want to give myself like another week to make sure that the N64 works and get caught up on stuff before we try to do Majora's Mask. But After Party looks like a fucking dope game. It's by Night School Studio, who are the same people that made Oxenfree, which is a game that I love. And it's a story about a game about people who die and go to hell and find out that there's a loophole that if they outdrink Satan, they can get out. And that's all I know about it. So come by on Wednesday for that. Other than that, Saturday mornings, I'm over on Lauren's channel, twitch.tv/starvingsoubrette, while she plays Twilight Princess and I yap about it. It's a really good time. I think that's everything. That's my whole schedule. We'll be back in 2 weeks. I hate that we have this cliffhanger, honestly, but here we are. Thank you all so much for watching, but most importantly, have a wonderful rest of your night. Good night.